The narrow streets of al-Faham, one of the largest Arab towns in Israel, are steep as they wind up and down the hillside. The 50,000 residents of this town are on the literal edge of the Western Democratic State of Israel, about an hour's drive from Tel Aviv, and yet they rub shoulders with what may be the future Palestinian state in the West Bank on the other side of a nearby fence. They are Arabs, but they are part of Israel, eternally torn between identities.
We
love our Palestinian brothers, but we are citizens of this state. We are not livestock that can be traded. We are human beings worthy of rights.
For some Israelis, they represent a threat to the vision of a true Jewish state. Some Israeli officials at the highest levels espouse redrawing the state's borders to exclude al-Faham and other Arab towns and make them part of a future Palestine. National aspirations notwithstanding, most people in al-Faham and others lying intimately close to the West Bank reject the idea, not because they don't identify themselves as Palestinians, but because they wouldn't want to forfeit the economic benefits like pensions, child allowances, and health care that they're entitled to living in Israel.
I'm 4 years away from retirement, but I receive Social Security. Over there, there's no Social Security and no anything. Life here is better since the state came into existence. It will take decades before the Palestinian Authority becomes a state. Who knows if I'll live that long?
al-Faham is an Arab town in Israel. There are some people in Israel who are saying that the border should be redrawn and that this town be part of a future Palestinian state. That means that the 50,000 people in this town would lose their Israeli citizenship, but they would become Palestinian citizens. It makes a few of them very nervous.
Israel cannot give up al-Faham. Al-Faham's people built the state and all the buildings in Tel Aviv. We enjoy a great life in the state of Israel. What could we ever do in the Palestinian Authority?
al-Faham is the economic, social, and religious center of the area known as the Triangle of Arab towns around the Wadi Ara Valley. Its past includes violent clashes with Israeli security forces. Today, it is the hotbed of Israel's Islamic movement, led by radical firebrand Sheikh Raed Salah. Hamed Akbaria, editor-in-chief of the newspaper Mouthpiece of the Islamic movement, says he isn't worried about all this talk about being cut out of Israel.
There's a great fear all over the world from the return of Islam into people's lives. A Palestinian state will never be. This country is not wide enough to accommodate two states for two peoples, so annexation will never happen.
The younger generation is more defiant than their elders.
If they give us all of our land, they can annex us, not only to the West Bank, but to Jordan, as far as I am concerned.
The al-Faham Art Gallery opened 15 years ago, and curator Saeed Abu Shakra says his main goal was to boost art in the Arab sector, a difficult task in this town of mostly farmers and construction workers.
We've turned al-Faham into the cultural center for all Israeli Arabs and Palestinian artists too.
Asked about national aspirations, Abu Shakra sighs and collects his thoughts.
The folks in al-Faham have nationalist aspirations to see the Palestinian nation within the boundaries of an independent and free state. Those are our national aspirations, but ask us if we want to remain in Israel or not, 95% will prefer to remain. Both sides, the Palestinians and the Israelis, need to see me as a positive bridge between us. I'm not a danger to anyone. My existence here is to live with dignity. If there's a democracy here, then I use it to express myself without endangering anyone.
From al-Faham in northern Israel, this is Aryeh O'Sullivan reporting for the Media Line.